We're at the end of our series 15 Ways to Keep Your Book Alive and Thriving After the Book Launch. And today I'm going to be sharing my favorite way to keep my books alive and thriving after the book launch. I'm talking about paid memberships and doing a book tour. So, if you have joined us throughout the entire series, let me know which of the 15 ways you are going to implement to keep your book alive. And I have some announcements to make at the end. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Let's welcome C. Ruth Taylor. Ruth has created the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy and the first Caribbean Authorpreneur Summit around her book, Authorpreneur Secrets. Write fast, publish affordably, and generate lasting income. As an Amazon best-selling author of 21 books, she has coached several Caribbean authors to become Amazon best-selling authors. Her mission is to raise up 10,000 winning Caribbean entrepreneurs by 2030 to ensure fewer books die in the minds of their authors, that more manuscripts become published legacies, and precious lives are transformed with the turn of every page.
All right, so you know why we're doing this series, and you know who I am. I'm Kamika Ruth Taylor. I'm a Jamaican entrepreneur and Amazon bestselling author of over 27 books. I think my 30th book is coming out. It's now on pre-order, called Better Than I Dreamed. Let's see who is joining me before I get into the lesson. Hi, Coach Thelma. So I am going to be recapping, because it's the final series. As a good teacher, I'm going to be recapping what we've shared, and then I want you to put in the comments, whether you're watching on a replay or you're live with me, which of these you are going to do in 2025 to keep your book alive and thriving. And each of the methods that I'm sharing are also things you can use to earn more and make a living with your book. So that's what this series is about. It's about authorpreneurship, and I'm sharing tips to help you to sell more books, but also to create income and impact faster than just selling books. And I started this series to help my Caribbean authors, especially because after the book launch, I generally see a decline in efforts, and it's as if authors don't know what to do with their books after the book launch. So, of the 15 methods that I've tried and seen, I thought I'd share that to give you some tips. This will be the final Entrepreneur Secrets live masterclass for this year. I'm going to pick up in the new year. And remember, I'm also going to be going live in person for those who invite me to share with groups of at least 10 persons. So let's recap. All right. So when I started this series 15 weeks ago, or 16 now, I reminded you that success is something you attract by the person you become. It's not something that you chase. So in order to be successful on this author journey, you will need to become more, learn some more skills. And then hear me about the importance of this series now. Last week, or was it earlier this week, on the 15th, Honor Ross, the head of the Alliance of Independent Authors, she was answering some questions about some changes that has happened in the publishing industry in the last 5 years and changes to come in the next 5 years. And she made a prediction. Now, she said she will risk it all by saying this, that entrepreneurship will be the dominant model in publishing by 2030. And that's why we're doing this series. And so you want to stay tuned, right? Now, I said to you, one of the things that helped me to make a living with my books using the authorpreneurship model or my authorpreneurship blueprint coming from this book, Authorpreneur Secrets, Write Fast, Publish Cost Effectively, and Generate Lasting Income, is that I learned to self publish. And that helped me to cut down on my cost. So if you cut down on your publishing or production cost, then it will be easier for you to make a profit. 95% of authors, says Derek Murphy, independent authors lose on their first book. So if you're able to publish for under $1,000, then by the time you sell 100 books, you make that. And if you're doing some of the things that I shared, you will be good to go. As a coach, um, Selma says, book tour sounds like her thoughts. Good. All right. So the next key I stated is that one of the ways to earn more and make a living with your book is to offer multiple services. Now, all the things that I've shared are examples of services, all the ways to keep the book alive, right? And so we started the series 15 Secrets to Keep Your Book Selling or Keep the Book Alive After the Book Launch. The first one I said was to consider online or in-person events. That was number one. Consider online courses. All right. 2, consider hosting or appearing on podcasts. That was 3. Consider becoming a speaker. Speaking and selling, it's a sure way to sell books. Consider creating content creation and multiple book formats. We went into that, so you have to go back and check that out. We talk about consider coaching, counseling, or consulting. Those are also ways to keep the book alive and sell more books. Consider partnerships, that is, or paid promotions and creating merchandise. All of those things can build a buzz and get people interested in your book. And today I am sharing, I made a mistake that communities only have one M, so I will go and correct it. Consider membership communities and a book tour, book signing. I have seen these two work powerfully for me, and my favorite is the membership communities. But let's discuss the book tour first because that is easy. So I can stop sharing the slides just now. All right, a book tour. No, I think the person who really killed it, so to speak, with that this year was Sarah Jakes Roberts with her Power Moves Women Evolve book tour and conference. She was going from city to city, place to place, talking about power moves, and people came out in droves and they bought her book. So even if your book has been out for a year or two or some time, you can consider having a book tour. I remember with my first book, I teamed up with Dr. Jermaine Gordon, the singer, and I partnered with First Heritage, and I was doing what is called the Habits Matter book tour, and I was going to schools and different places, and I was sharing my story, and that helped. So whatever your book is about, you can have a book tour. I remember when I had the Design to Win book tour, and I went around on that book tour, different places. It was for the first edition, not this one. I had the Design to Win book tour, and that really helps. So you have to plan your book tour. Is it a speaking book tour? Is it that you're going to do the book tour and you're offering like seminars or workshops? And this is primarily now for nonfiction authors, but it can also be for fiction because you can get creative. You have to decide what will be the format of the book tour. Who do I want to target? So the people that I know the best for me are, I'm an educator, right? And I'm a church girl. So I normally do my tours around churches, schools. You can decide it, and you can have tours different parishes. I like to use the number 10, like I'll have 10 stops. Now, some of you may want to go overseas, so you could plan it at the time that you go overseas. So one of my authors, he wrote a book recently about, it's a teaching series about exceptional living, the life of Jesus. That's Dr. Corbin. And one of the things I was encouraging him is that you can go around teaching this material in different churches, in different places. And all you do, just call it a book tour. So um, decide what you're going to do, because you want people to come out, you have to offer them something. So I like to plan workshops or presentations with my book tour. You could partner with somebody else for the book tour. And if a book tour seems intimidating to you, then just say you're going to have some pop-up book signings where they can meet the author, greet, and ask questions. And you can have an online book tour. I've seen that, but I'm mainly talking here in person. So you can have these pop-up book signings in different parishes in different countries. And so I want to encourage you to do that. That has worked for me, because one of the things is that you connect with people, and people still are excited about authors, want to meet you, want to talk. You could do a book tour. Maybe you're partnering with different, or the signings at a bookshop, because one, if you get your book into the bookshop and you tell them that you're going to be doing a pop-up book signing or book tours, one is marketing to drive people to the bookshop so the books will sell. And as part of it, you could do a book signing right at that bookshop, and it's promotion for the bookshop. They'll be happy to carry your book, and it's another way to keep it thriving. So I want to encourage you to hop on that and do that. And then the final one, woo, my favorite way to keep my books alive. No, it's not all the books. It's a certain kind of book that you can use for that. It's building a membership community. Now, what is that? One of the predictions that Honor Us also made is that with the proliferation of information, with AI, Chat GPT, and Google, YouTube, you can just search and pull up a topic. So information will not be a challenge. But can I tell you that information alone is not enough? She says we need to build communities. I was at the Jamaica Book Festival 2 weeks ago, and Dr. Terry Carell was making her presentation. And she said one of the things that has helped her to sell her 7,000 copies of her books is her community. Before she wrote and sold a book, she was building her TK tribe on YouTube, on I think Instagram and LinkedIn, but she had her tribe. So when it was time for her book to come out, there were people lined up. She already had this community to support her. And she said people came from far, stood in lines, once the book was out for the book launch and other places, and people just kept buying the book. It was Seth Godin that talks about the tribe. Build your 1,000, and you may not have 1,000, but if you have 1,000 true fans and a community, it can go far. No, you don't even have to have such a big community for it to work. And so one of the things is that readership is in decline. But here's the key. People will pay you 10 times as much to teach them and coach them about the very same thing that you've written that they could have spent at most maybe $20 or $30 to get. And so when I saw that, I said, okay, I have different passions. I also need to earn money. How can I get people to read the book or and get the book in use? So I learned about membership groups. Now I looked at different models. I looked at Sarah. What's Sarah's last name? I can't remember her last name, but she had the Edupreneur Learning Community. I think it's Sarah Blake. She had a community, and in her membership community, she had several courses, some of them on how to publish, and it was about courses, how to create profitable courses. I joined that community, and it was like $47 per month, and she had maybe like, at the time, was it 55 courses? Now we talk about courses, it's just video tutorials teaching on a particular topic. And so she had that model, but along with that, it was the Edupreneur membership community where she would go in, I think maybe once a week or once a month, and they would have these live sessions where you can ask questions, because sometimes information is not enough. And I remember there are so many things that I used to read online, try online, but when I joined a mastermind or a little business community, I find that I get more value because there is feedback. And so I said, okay, I am going to build membership groups, and I'm going to combine the different things. I'm a teacher. I want to put courses in there. I want to have coaching in there and consulting. Now, this is how I do it. You may not want to do it, but I know most memberships, they offer some content. It may be a course, and then they offer a time when you come together and you meet you have Q&As, or you meet the founder of the community. So I launched what I thought was, I still answer your question, Coach. I launched my Authorpreneurship Academy, and they call these membership groups online. Very often they call them academies. It's not a formal academy that you're going to register and that kind of thing. So I created the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, and in it, I mean, I already had the book Authorpreneur Secrets, right? So I named it the membership group according to the book. You have to have a transformation outcome. When people join your membership group, what is the outcome? What journey are you taking them on? What is the result? So I wanted to bring this book to life. I wanted to show them how to write fast, how to publish cost effectively for less than $1,000 US, and how to generate lasting income or sustainable income with their books. So I built the curriculum of the membership group around that. So I had the writing piece, I had the publishing piece, and I had the entrepreneurship piece, which is the lasting community. And people loved it. And hear me now, I had so much information. It was too much information. It was intimidating. And I found that many people, they did not want to read the information or go through the courses, but they wanted to get my feedback. And so one of the ways to earn a living with a book, can you use your expertise and create a paid membership community and have the members put your book in as part of what you offer? Now, when I was on Teachable, a learning platform, it allowed me to upload the book. People could read the book, but they could not download it, right? Via my personal website, I put like a lock on it or a code and send it to people. Or you could send the book via book funnel, and you have, so some of you want to protect the book. You don't want people to just copy. So I built the book in it, and I normally give the members a chapter or something to read from the book. So them have to read the book, and it is part of it. And people pay. So I started my membership group in 2020, the Authorpreneur Secrets one, for $40. And I used the method that Graham Cochran taught me about a founder's launch. So at that time, we didn't have much content in the group. I didn't have a lot of courses. You don't need many courses, by the way. You could start a membership group with one course or just the book, and you teach every week. So I wanted to build up content. So I started teaching from the book because I'm not going to read it, right? I started teaching from it, and I assigned them like a single reading. And then I went in 3 times per month, taught, and then had a Q&A. And then I put the coaching or consulting where they come to me. At that time, I think it was once per month. And I've maintained that model and it works. So I said the first 5 persons to join, $40 per month, I will make them a legacy member, which means they were grandfathered in and they will get lifetime membership after the first year. And they did. So now those persons, this membership group is going to continue at least until 2030 because everything is towards the vision, right? And those members can now get free coaching and advice from me and access to the materials without paying anything. So that was a founder's launch. Then I raised the price to $47 per month and people paid it. And now it went to 97, now it's 99. And no, the price is not going to change again because I made a commitment that this is part of my effort to raise up the 10,000 entrepreneurs to replicate my process. And so with this, what you have now is the book is kept alive because I give them assignment. I tell them to go read it, even though some of them not going to read it. But it, for discussion purposes, I built it in. Every course, everything that I do with a book, I keep the book alive. You have to even read, you have to read a portion. And this year what I did was to incentivize it. So I had points and giveaways, if you're the first person to finish read the book and things like that. So membership communities, it gives you recurring revenue. So you can put your pot on fire that money going to come in. So take the content of your book and turn it in. You could start a membership community. It could be a free community or a paid community. I do paid communities and make it a part of that. So that was with Authorpreneur Secrets. This year too, I did Design to Win Roadmap. This is the Reinvention Edition, or also known as the Late Bloomers Edition. So this is, I created a program to teach people how to set and achieve their goals and to redesign their lives. Again, because memberships is my favorite thing and it works because people don't just want to read stuff, they want to be in community, to learn together. So group coaching, consulting, I employ the same thing. It was built around this group. Daphne was a part of it and they had to read it. It's strictly around the book. So if you come and don't do the reading before, then the discussion you'll be lost. Again, I also incentivize it as part of the membership. And I met with them once per month and I asked them questions. They had the opportunity to ask questions, but you must have a tangible outcome. At the end of that, the outcome or the transformation was that we wanted them to, what is the main goal that you wanted to achieve in 2024? To say at the end of 24, this was an amazing year. And so we provided community support and accountability, and they created their 5-year plan and their 1-year plan to achieve that major life transforming goal, because that's what this book teaches. And at the end of the 6 months, this was for 6 months, almost everybody in the group achieved their major goal. So if you're going to have a membership group, whether it's with courses and you use consulting, at least once a month is good to go in, because that's the factor that people are coming for. It's the group coaching and support. It's the consulting aspect of it, not just the information in the group, and you build a subscribership. And you must have a transformation point at the end of what are they going to achieve with you. So for me, for the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, they get to publish a book in 3 to 6 months. They walk away with a marketing plan. They get feedback on their book to see if it is good enough. And and they get all ideas for authorpreneurship. Next year, we're going back to a 1-year model, and you're going to get mentorship in authorpreneurship. Because even though the book is here, I'm sure you have questions. And so I can mentor you and take you step by step that you can build your own profitable author business. And that's my favorite tip. And you don't have to make the membership expensive. I just wanted people to read this book and to bless them, because people keep telling me that the Design to Win roadmap really works. They set a goal to migrate, whatever the goal was, it helps you to discover your purpose and put a plan in place, and it works. And so I just wanted people to read my book and to bless them. So I only charged $10 per month. That was like $60 for the 6 months. Going forward, I'm just going to charge $99 for the whole thing. And for young people, what I do, I have a youth membership as well. And all they have to do is buy the book. They either buy a physical copy of the book, or they get a soft copy, a PDF copy, password protected copy version, or you could send them the EPUB version. And that's all I'm doing with it, because I want the book to sell and I want the book to move. So I just gave you my biggest secret. It keeps the book alive, selling, and it puts money in your pocket. And if it depends on how much money do you want each month, you could create a membership group, get enough persons to be giving you that. And that can be a quick way. It's not easy to build, everything takes time, but that is a good way to keep the book alive and put money in your pocket. Now let's go to the comments and the questions. All right. So Coach Selma says, what about people who don't think they are known and will attract investors? What advice do you have to give them on making the move to do a book tour? Excellent question. Well, guess what? I was unknown. It was my first book. What people don't understand is that the word authority has author in it. Once you have a book, it gives you a voice and a platform. So even if you never had a name, the book now gives you credibility, authority, and is a platform and a bargaining tool that you can use. So you don't have to go with corporate. What you want to do is to offer something valuable to people. How are you going to make life better for people? How does your life make people better? So for you, Thelma, well, I'm using you as an example, but you already have a name. You've been in media and communication, used to be on the radio. But your book is about healing. How many sick people out there want some tips on healing, or maybe want some prayer or some support, whatever it is that worked for you? Now you can take this message of healing and create a book tour. It don't have to be elaborate. My Design to Win book tour never had no corporate sponsor or anything, but I used my network. So I linked, you have to decide who is your target audience, who you want to reach, what's the message. And so I chose 10 places that I wanted to go and bring this message of, of hope and show them how to set and achieve their goals. And that's all I did. And I just call it a tour because I'm going from place to place to teach the thing. So it doesn't have to be a corporate thing, right? So the book itself gives you a platform. Anywhere you go and tell somebody that you're an author, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what is your book about? So immediately a book gives you a voice. It is a platform. So it is what is now going to give you the fame and make you known. That's why I encourage people to write the book. So if you're a nobody, once you write a book, you're a quote unquote somebody. That's one of the secrets, right? And then to make yourself become a somebody in people's eyes and attract sponsors. If you put on the book tour for the first time and you went to places and you're gathering these numbers, the next time you're putting on another book tour, you could invite a corporate sponsor. And sometimes you can start with really small businesses, but you don't even have to have that. So let me see if I've answered the question properly. Let me put it back on the screen. What about people don't think they're known and so will attract investors? You don't need investors to put on a book tour. And the book tour will make you known. What advice do you have to give them on making the move to do a book tour? So what value are you bringing to the people? That's what the tour will be about. So you want to teach, like for you, you could, a healing tour. how did you get your healing? Are there, it could be a book tour, a book and prayer tour. You go and pray for people. For Daphne, your book tour, Dancing Among Snakes, you could create a title for the tour that is about overcoming adversity. Come up with something catchy and say it's your book tour, and you're going to have these series of meetings at different places that you're going to talk and you're going to sign. Offer something valuable. Are there tips from the book that teaches you when you're in a toxic environment, what tips and tools cause you to overcome? So because you're an author, you make yourself the speaker. And you can also partner with somebody perhaps who has a name to do this thing, like what I did, and they will attract the people for you. Does that make sense? All right. Final question, because we've hit the 30-minute mark. Or comment. Use the book as reading material for the course. Yes, and for the membership. Whatever I do, my strategy, there are about 10 different models of authorpreneurship. And I will teach on that in the new year. The Nira Majaran outlines 8 authorpreneurship models, and one of them is books plus teaching. That's essentially my model. I'm a teacher. So sometimes you have so many different things to teach. I created a membership group so I could put all my courses and teachings there, and everybody can find it in one place. And because it's group, you get it affordably. So my battery is about to die as well. I need to plug in. But that's it. Now, if you want to learn more in the new year, and have Authorpreneur Secrets live, I'm not going to call it a book tour, but I am willing to meet with you live. I could very well just call it the Authorpreneur Secrets book tour. And then what I'm doing is offering these free master classes to groups of 10. So you can request a master class. I'll put the link in the show notes, and you just go to my contact page or you scan the QR code. So let's meet and learn together in 2025, not just online. And you can get your questions answered. And of course, if you join the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, it opens in enrollment starts in January. It's $99 per month. You can stay with us for the whole year. I'll be mentoring you. If you have a book, 6 months of mentoring on how you can grow your entrepreneurship business, build a profitable business, and share my knowledge with you, because I want to replicate this. I'm not going to keep all of this to myself. And so let's meet and learn together. I'm offering the free masterclass in Kingston and corporate area. I'll go there for free. You don't even have to cover my transportation. But if you're overseas or outside of Kingston, you have to cover the cost. And I'll be there, because this is the wave of the future and you don't want to miss it. All right. Remember, Ecclesiastes 12:12b says, of making many books, there is no end. So I want to say to you, go penny to win it and dominate entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me for this series. Merry Christmas. Have a happy new year, and catch you on the next Authorpreneur Secrets Live Masterclass, the first Thursday in January. Ta for now, until next time.